Hey, creativity is a lot more important than you might think. My name is Dhruv and this is Common Truth, and that's the topic for today's video. So if you clicked on this, you probably are thinking, why? Is creativity the new type of intelligence? And now I'm going to explain to you why. Of course, it might seem obvious from the get-go. People might be able to say that creativity encapsulates what you're able to bring to the world, because new ideas, new foundations, and new conceptualizations are structures that no one has heard of before. These new ideas, creativity is what drives our world. And yeah, that is true. There's nothing undeniable about that fact. Individuals who pursue a field, who are pioneers within something that we call the new human frontier, all of these various things are driven by people who are creative. And yeah, but that's not it. That's not the only reason why creativity is a new type of intelligence. It's due to the fact that people who are more creative have more capability to absorb knowledge. Now, what do I mean by this? Because generally at first hand, it might be able to say that people might glance away, say the fact that, oh, it depends on your IQ, how much you've been born with. Basically conceptualizations, generalizations that we make for a lot of individuals. And this is an excuse that I make. Maybe it's an excuse that you make, especially in the journey that you see other individuals who maybe exceeded you or superseded you in a specific way. Then you might make this excuse, the fact that they were maybe born smart. However, this is simply not the case. And there's actually something that you can do about it. Maybe you won't be able to change your IQ. I mean, of course you might be able to try. However, this is not a promise. This is not a guarantee. But there's a better way. It's the fact that you need to indulge yourself in various experiences. The more stimuli that you receive in, it's basically like the fact that the more developed you become. So now as children, of course this is important. We need more stimulation in order to actually physically grow and in order for our mental pathways and neurons to actually form in specific passages. However, in a conceptual manner, the reason in order to have more experiences that we're able to indulge with more and more individuals, more and more problems, and these experiences will fuel what we call as ambition. In a lot of situations, ambition is misunderstood by the mass public. It's something that we feel is just an actuality that comes to us at random intervals. Sometimes you feel motivated, and another day you might wake up and you might feel no need for doing anything at all. You might not even want to go and study. You might not want to go and work out. And it's just something that disappears and it reappears sometime. This is not the case. Ambition comes from you wanting to go and explore more of the world. So let's say that you're in India. Maybe you live in the US and you go to India for a trip. Then not only are you getting the experience of two countries, you're actually getting more than that. It's because of the fact that you can compare the experience that you had previously to the experience that you have now. Now let's say you go to another country, a third country for example. Now not only can you cross-reference the experiences that you had with the first country and the second country with the third country, you can also cross-reference all three altogether. And this might start getting a little confusing, but let's say that the comparison that you had between 1 and 2 is the comparison point between what you'll have with 3. So it generally compounds. It's not something where it just increases by that specific amount. It's something that compounds. So the more experiences that you have, the more likely you are to become more creative. You'll have more ideas because you can identify more things that are wrong with society. Let's say you're just within one home, and within that home everything's immaculate, aside from one leaky tap. Maybe that entire home has the singular problem of a leaky tap. However, that's already been found. Maybe that's a problem that already exists, and you could simply go out to a store and buy a fix for that. You can even get like maybe a technician that could just easily come in, a plumber, and they could easily come in and fix that problem for you. So that's gone. That's something that doesn't need to be fixed anymore. However, let's say you're constantly moving houses. Maybe you go to one apartment after the next every single month. If you're constantly on the move, then maybe the first house maybe only has a leaky tap, for example. But then the next apartment, it has a lot of air ventilation problems. And then the next one, it has toilet problems. And all these various experiences that you build up will allow you to find more and more problems. And eventually you just might stumble upon to something that's not solved, or maybe not solved efficiently. Generally, all our ideas don't have to be new. They can be based off something that's already occurred, however, improving that system in order to make it better, in order to make it cheaper, in order to make it more efficient and applicable to our needs today. So that's the main reason why you want to go and put yourself out to these various experiences. Without getting those experiences, you can't truly indulge yourself in what it means to be creative, because those are the means by which you will elevate yourself. Of course, maybe it's not helpful for textbook knowledge. Going out to one apartment every week is not going to help you pass the AP exam with flying colors. Of course it's not. However, if you're able to do this, then not only will you get psychological benefits of creativity, you'll also have a workspace change, you'll be more accustomed to these stress pressures, and moreover, you'll have all of these ability to conceptualize information and group them, and that'll help your memory. You're able to remember things better. And of course, it might not be to the point where you can just have an eidetic memory practically and you can remember every single piece of information you digest. However, that information that you read at a specific area becomes associated with that area. So let's say at one apartment, you're doing chapter 1 of AP US History. And you're learning about the pre-Columbian society and such, and that becomes associated with that apartment. You study so hard at the same desk every single day, and that desk will become associated with the topic that you're studying. Now, another individual who has the same desk, who's studying constantly, of course they might be able to remember the information, and maybe this is just even a minimal fraction of an increase upon that individual. However, they cannot truly indulge themselves and what it means to associate, because of the fact that that same desk has processed various subjects, maybe chemistry, physics, AP World History. All these various subjects can't be connected to one singular item. That's practically impossible to do. So the more locations that we know, the more experiences that we have, the more stimuli that we have to connect the various pieces of information. And that's particularly why it's a new type of intelligence that a lot of people don't truly focus on. It becomes undermined because of the fact that many people going through college admissions, the people that are studying the hardest, are generally people who are still learning, generally high schoolers, college students. And after that, people just think, oh, we have to do our jobs. We don't continue learning. But this is particularly the most important part. It's an entire race for our entire lives. So if you just stop at that point and you cut yourself off, then there's a lot of years that can just be simply wasted. Think about high school, think about college. In high school, you only have 4 years. And yeah, this might seem like a lot initially, but then think about the fact of going from 30 to 40. This is the process that the majority of people go through, and yet it's something that seems so quick. That's going through high school practically 2.5 times, and it doesn't even seem like it. So if you were to able, and maybe you're not able to learn information as efficiently, granted, because of the fact that our minds are not as young. However, you're still able to learn. Going through high school 2.5 times, think about that amount of time span you're doing just working, and you're not truly indulging yourself in new information. So it's a race for life. You can contribute to society at any time, but you need to be able to have that creative vision and that intelligent build-up in order to reach that position in the first place. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments below, I'm excited to hear them. I always enjoy hearing your guys' opinions. If you have a specific video that you want to see, then you can also leave that in the comment below. And yeah, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next video.